you don't think two people can lead in a relationship. That's interesting. I feel like that kind of, so why? Do you need to be the one that's like in control, like leading, you're the successful one,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like is that kind of what you mean? Like, I just thought that was super interesting. What do you mean you can't?
I would have no issue dating a woman who is actually the breadwinner. That wouldn't necessarily be an issue. The issue, I think, is more so most women date up and across, so they're not going to date down. If a woman's an attorney, you guys are, I assume, very successful. You make decent money. Attorneys make decent money. You're probably not going to date the guy that works at Starbucks.
That's not
I disagree.
true.
I disagree. I think that based on
your last boyfriend paid for everything.
Right, but clearly I'm not with him. So I don't think that necessarily is true for me. So I think that it depends on like just a whole bunch of other things. And I think that I actually don't have my like occupation on my Hinge profile. It's not something I tell people right off the bat. It's not something I ask right off the bat, because I feel like you can have this like high title, or you can be, famous or whatever, or rich, and you can be a shitty person, and it's like probably not interested in dating you, And so I don't really ask. I like to feel out the vibes. I definitely don't want a couch potato, but I think that like if the vibe's right and it like works, I would date like someone that works at Starbucks if they're a good person. Like I'm into it. Like,
okay, so would you date a guy who wants to be a stay-at-home dad? Do you want kids?
Yes.
First off?
Do I want kids?
So
I don't know.
When you have, okay, so you'd be totally okay having a life partner and you're providing everything for them.
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think that
that's fine. Then lead. Then that's totally fine. You should lead then.
Yeah.
You're going to be the boss.
Or you can find someone that's equally a boss that isn't threatened by your energy and you being a boss, and you guys can just both be bosses together.
I suppose. I mean, they've done studies on this, and the fact of the matter is most women date across and up socioeconomic hierarchies. So most women, the thing is, as a woman, as you become more successful, your pool of potential partners tends to shrink, because most women don't want to date a guy below them socioeconomically. If you're making $250,000 a year as a litigation attorney, I know you guys aren't doing, well, I don't know, whatever. Like, you're probably going to want to date someone who's at your level or above you. I'm sure you guys know some very hyper successful, incredibly brilliant women that probably would not be satisfied dating a barista.
Well, I think it depends also, because once you're in the profession and you're networking and you're rubbing elbows with you're just going to meet those types of people. It's not until you go on Hinge where you're like, oh, okay, that's a different world out there. But right. I think that at least the women I hang out with and the like women that I like definitely vibe with more, like it's just not something that's like on my, like, you have a list, like that's not on my list. Like my significant other, like I don't really care what they do or how much they make. It's just like, are they supportive? Are they a good person? Like, do they have a sense of humor? Can I trust them? Like those kind of things are, I feel like, what's important. Like, I think you can lead with a partner and communicate and be fine. I don't think it has to be like a competition. That's exactly what my last relationship was, and like not it. So.
Okay. Cool. Did anybody else want to come in on this?
I mean, I definitely agree. It doesn't matter to me what their occupation is or what they do, how much they make. I will say that it does matter that they have some sort of ambition or drive. Like if they're a barista, that's cool, that's fine. But if they want to half-ass that and work part-time and spend the rest of their time literally doing absolutely nothing, that's a different story.
Okay. See, I guess the difference, and I realize there's women that are in perfectly happy relationships where they're the primary breadwinner. Maybe the guy's he's not employed, he's taking care of the household, taking care of the family. But I'm speaking in generalities here. Of course, there are all sorts of dynamics in relationships, but I would say overwhelmingly, like most women date across and up in terms of their partner choices. Like, if I was an attorney, I would have no issue dating a woman that worked at Chick-fil-A, that worked at McDonald's. If I'm making 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, I'll date the batty 19-year-old. Like, to me, a woman's money is not really important to me. But I would say a man's career, a man's finances are more important to women. It's more of a factor.
Can I chime in?
Of course.
I think that when you have a job where you make enough money that you can support yourself and you don't have to worry about anything, like whatever happens in my dating life, like I'll be good. If my boyfriend makes no money, if I don't have a boyfriend at all, if like nothing happens, like I'll be able to afford all my own shit. And so I think it actually like opens up your pool of people, because if you're going out there and you're being like, I don't make that much money and I need to meet some guy who's going to be able to make enough money that he can support our kids, then like, yeah, of course that's going to be a concern. If you don't care about that because you can support your own kids and you can pay for your own shit, then like you don't care about like what your boyfriend's doing necessarily. Like, yeah, I want him to be happy and passionate about his career, but I don't care if he's making more money than I am or even like the same amount. It doesn't matter.
And if that is a woman's genuine position, like, hey, I'm making all this money, I'll date a guy who's kind of a bum, you know, I
didn't say a bum. I said like somebody who makes less money than me.
Sure, but I think I do genuinely think most women want to date a guy that's on their level or above. I think that's the case for most women. I could be wrong, and I think we're also seeing this. I mean, we could also ask this, like, would you, just to go around the panel really quick, do you want, who's in school right now? Is it the ballet thing, or are you also taking
I'm also a college student.
Yeah, so let's say when you want to get your bachelor's degree, would you want to date a guy that has at least attained your level of education or higher?
I don't think education matters to me as much, because you can do so much without a degree. Even the career that I want to go into, I can do without my degree. So education doesn't bother me. I do think like the person I choose to be with has to have some sort of ambition or drive to want to do something with their lives. Doesn't matter what, but they have to want to do something with their lives.
Sure. Anybody else on the college thing?
Yeah, I don't think it really matters for education, because like my parents, they don't have like a college degree at all, but they still found each other. And I mean, they're not together, but I don't even know why. But a lot of people don't do college or education because they don't have the money for it. And so if they just like work or like something, like a hobby, then I'll be fine with them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely spoken to women who would take issue with a guy who has attained a lower level of education than they have. So I don't know. But